Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your chain for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, money like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right. Shout out to the mighty Who Dat Nation, man. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I'll rock it with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. Shout out to the mighty Who Dat Nation. We up in this thing, Sports Coma, Monday, going down. Much love, fam. Big ups to everybody in the building, man. Listen, in this one, man, we're not going to be on here for too long, man, but shout out to the mighty Who Dat Nation, man. Appreciate you guys for being in the stream. Mr. Fire D, Bullet Family, Travel Vlog, Brother Jasper, EKL, shout out to you, man. Good to see all y'all in the building. T, Black Major, big ups, fam. Fam, listen, go talk a little black and gold on this Monday. I'm going to try not to hold you guys too long on this stream, man, tonight, man, but anyway, we talked about this on the previous stream about the Saints bringing in Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore, of course, is going to definitely do his very best to pull as many head coaches as he can away from the Philadelphia Eagles, which is not a bad thing, man, because obviously Philly they have the Super Bowl temperament right now, and for Kellen, to see if he can pilfer some guys away from that squad, man, that would definitely help the Who Dat Nation, man, no doubt about it, man. To get some of that Philly Super Bowl energy would be better than what the hell we've had the last several years, I tell you what. Well, big ups to everybody, man. Appreciate y'all being in the stream. Do me a service as you're coming in. Please feel free to hit the like button. Molly saying do 6 hours. Damn, brother, we going old school. Yeah, we used to do long streams back in the day. What's up, Brother Larry? How you doing, sir? Appreciate you. Much love to the fam. We up in this thing. Shout out to y'all, man. But anyway, man, listen. Kellen Moore, man, he is making some moves, right? Shout out to our contributors at thewhodatdaily.com. Niles Carpenter did a really good article kind of preferencing some of the moves that the Saints are doing in Kellen Moore's attempt to build a staff getting ready for this up and coming season. And like I said, when you're on the tail end of the hire, like the Saints were, they waited as far as you can wait to get a head coach. And now a lot of things happen. When that happens, you have a lot of other stuff going on, like, coaches that got fired from other teams got hired. And a lot of these coaches in weeks ahead, days ahead, whatever the case may be, have set about the business of hiring coaches. So they go in there and they pick up guys and they bring them in. Now, a lot of times, if you're Kellen Moore, you're going to have to lean on your previous staff, because a lot of these other head coaches have found jobs because of the hiring cycle. So you're kind of in a bit of a but I don't want to say you're behind time, but you kind of have a compressed timeline to be able to get the staff together, because you have stuff coming in. You got the NFL Combine coming up in late February. So you want to try to see if you can get your staff together as much as you can, so y'all can kind of get on the same page, figure out what you're going to do moving into the upcoming season. But for lack of better words, it is definitely a compressed timeline that Kellen Moore and the Saints are dealing with. So anyway, we've heard the stuff about Doug Nussmeier interviewing for the coaching job. Robert Prince is another interesting guy that we talked about, has leanings to the Cowboys as well as wide receiver coach there. A lot of people like him as a possible guy. It's also Jemal Singleton was another guy that they talked about the Saints interview. This one kind of really sprung up on us, but they did interview Jemal Singleton, who has a lot of people, a lot of coaches really liking this guy. They consider him a bit of a rising star in that area. So shout out to Canal Street Chronicles. They did cover a part of this from Adam Schefter's tweet, which is where this article was inspired by. Eagles assistant head coach and running backs coach Jemal Singleton interview for Saints offensive coordinator job. Per source, one Eagles official recently described Singleton as, quote, a big part of what we do on offense and a rising star going forward, end quote. So there is a, we know that Kellen Moore, man, has to fill out that staff. And like I said, man, we'll see what he got going on, man, to filling out the staff and doing what he got to do to be able to add some coaches here to kind of turn this thing around. Once again, the Saints are not a bear cupboard. We're not a bear cupboard. We have some players here. We just need somebody to come along with accountability and an organized game plan that works and just stick on code. Just stay on code, keep these people together, make them do what they get paid to do. And if they don't do what they're supposed to do, get them on up out of here. That's where I'm at with mines. No nonsense. If you're not here to win, you can go join the Falcons and help them lose. That's why I'm at. Ali Udo, go help the Falcons lose. Cedric Wilson Jr., go help the Falcons lose. Derek Carr, go help. I'm just messing. All these other guys, man, just go help somebody else lose. We only want people, if we're going to pay you handsomely, we want you to do your damn jobs. And if you can't do that, get on up out of here. That's why I'm at with mines. But anyway, yeah, this is an interesting thing. Singleton joins Nussmeier and Prince as the other candidates interviewed for the offensive coordinator positions with the Philadelphia Eagles. Singleton has consistently produced great running back seasons no matter who the players are. Obviously, this season, Singleton coached the running back room led by Offensive Player of the Year Saquon Barkley. People may point to that and question how much influence Singleton had with the Eagles running backs this year. But no matter where he is coached, the running game has had success as a leader. He is everything a team looks for, and that could also be a driving factor on why he's in consideration for the Saints offensive coordinator position. Young coaches, innovation, energy, intensity, focus, getting it together. So could this gentleman be a potential head coach coordinator? We know about Dougie Nussmeier. But at the end of the day, man, we'll see how it all goes, because I've heard of this guy before. And a lot of the Philly people have a lot of respect for him. And like I said, always is going to be that question. It's going to be that question on how much of the offense is Kellen Moore. It's always going to be that question. And then, of course, you're going to hear people, because I hear him from the Philly side. I hear him from the Saints side. I hear it all over the place. I get DM. People tell me, man, how much of Philly's offense was Kellen Moore? How much was it someone else? Was it how much did Saquon Barkley obviously made everyone look good? He really did. But in the end, the game plan is the game plan. And you got to have coaches serious enough to stay on code and do what needs to be done. And we've, as an organization, have completely lost our way here. So we're looking for Kellen Moore to guide the Saints back. Will he do it? Man, listen, only time will tell, my friend. I do not have a crystal ball. It's in the shop. But as soon as they get out the shop, fam, I'm going to pick out the wins and losses, baby. All right, so anyway, man, that's some interesting news right there. Also, to kind of jump back to Niles's interview. I mean, his article rather, that he did mention some of the other things that was going on. The diverse background could make an appealing choice to complement Moore's offensive vision. Meanwhile, defensive coordinator interviews are also ongoing, with the Saints meeting with prominent names such as Eagles defensive backs coach Christian Parker, Vikings defensive back coach Durante Jones. He's a former LSU guy. Shout out to him. And 49ers assistant head coach Brandon Staley. So each brings a unique resume, and the Saints family members have no stone unturned in their pursuit of the top tier coaching candidate. As Moore builds his staff, a few key hires have already been confirmed. Keith Williams, shout out to brother Keith. He's back with the team as the wide receiver coach. Chase Haslett, that's the son of former head coach Jim Haslett. His son has been named to be the tight ends coach, so Clancy Barone is gone. And Brendan Nugent steps in as the O-line coach. So he's familiar with the Saints organization, had some success with the Chargers. He also had, some time with the Saints. So we'll see how it all twists and turns. And this is one of the things right here. As you can see right here, it's a nice little chart he put there. Offensive coordinator candidates: Doug Nussmeier, Robert Prince. And then, of course, we talked about adding the newer coach, Jemal Singleton, as well as the guys that they talked to, defensive coordinator Staley, Christian Parker, and Durante Jones. So, and like I said, once you get your offensive coordinator then will be tasked with the mission of then filling out his staff offensively. The same thing with the defense. That's why we really didn't see too much going on defensively. Ultimately, when whoever you get to be the defensive coordinator, he'll come with his defensive line coach, his linebacker coach, his secondary coach, his DB coach, all that kind of stuff happen. Of course, we have yet to hear about who the special teams coordinator is. Will it be Phil Galliano? I like him a lot. Will Galliano stay on, or does Kellen Moore has his own handpicked guy? Time will tell on that as well. All right. So anyway, we'll see, man. It's still ongoing in the process, man. And we're going to keep the thing moving along. All right. Shout out to John Sigler, man. You know, John Sigler keeps it real. He says, sounds like Saints. And this is a little bit of a nugget for the family members. Saints sounds like Saints season ticket renewals are going out. A family member's ticket went up 15% after the worst record in almost 20 years. Tough to square that. I just threw that at you because of the fact that this is what they do. This is a 15. You had the Saints had one of the stankiest, funkiest seasons you can ever hit at, and they put the season ticket, because this is a slap in your face. But this is not, listen, this is not a disrespect to the mighty Who That Nation intelligent people. This is to the opposite. I care not mention, but you know who it is. They don't care. So you can do them anyway. And by all means, Saints, do them any kind of way. Do them any kind of way. Do them any kind of way you want. Because at some point, you have to be able to have some brain cells here and some sense in 2025 going forward to know better. With all the stuff that we've seen during this this offseason that happened with the Saints in particular, we know, and by all measurements, they should be thoroughly and fully boycotted. I don't have to tell you why. You already know why, don't you? But at the end of the day, people love their sports sometimes more than the other stuff that's going on. And to me, that's a shame. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. And that's the reality of it. So, I mean, just let this marinate let that marinate and roll around in your mind for a second and understand what I just said. And understand why there's such people like this, that this is why a lot of this exists. So, I mean, and outside of it, when you're dealing with real and when you're talking real, this makes no sense for this to even be a real thing. That should be a drop in prices. It should be a drop of prices across the board, period. But by all means, that doesn't impact me the slightest. So for Saints, go ahead and roll them up if you want to and set them on fire if you got to. Whatever you got to do to get it out of them, because they'll give it to them. Do it to them because they deserve it. Y'all know who I'm talking about. All right, so anyway, let's keep it moving, man. Anyway, and we cover that. Let's hit this story right here. Shout out to John Hendricks, man, at Athline Sports. He did this article right here. New Orleans Saints coach Kellen Moore priorities include making a big QB decision here. And this is one of the things he talked about in his article. Now that the Saints have Kellen Moore, the real work begins. His first official day was on Wednesday, and he looks very happy to be in New Orleans. He really did. Real politician-esque, very very astute, very businessman-like, on point, did not contradict himself, did not give a lot away. He was very, very, and I seen his other interview, very politician-like. Very politician-like. Didn't give anything contradictory, didn't give contradictory or misaligning statements, was on point, especially with some of the personnel, the people they talked about, whether it was when they made mention of Derek Carr, and the reporters asked several times in several different ways about Derek Carr. Because a lot of times, a lot of our great reporters know what time it is behind the scenes. And they know, the coaches know, but it's this it's this game of chess, right? Where where the question is asked, hey man, I know what's going on here, but let's see how this guy answered the question, right? So you had a situation where Mike Triplett asked about Derek Carr. And he gave a real businessman-like approach to it. And I was like, okay, I can respect that. But the way it was worded it lets you know straight up, hey man, listen, we looking for somebody else. And the thing is, like I told you about Dan Orlovsky from ESPN, he congratulated Kellen Moore on online and told Kellen Moore, congratulations, now go get you a quarterback. People say, man, New Orleans hates Derek Carr. No, we don't. We don't hate Derek Carr. The people keep saying that stuff. See, let me tell you, it's a weird thought process that I don't want to have nothing to do with. When people give you see nowadays, people don't understand criticism from critique. They don't understand the difference. There is no line of delineation where they could differentiate between one or the other. They just blur it all and say it's all the same thing. That's not the case. There is a difference between criticism and critiquing something. That's a big difference. And when you tell somebody and explain to people in the most thorough and and non-complicated way as you possibly can, to go watch tape, go watch film, go talk to go watch tape, go watch film, because they got people that don't do that, and you can tell because they're the ones that's rolling out all these stats. See, them saying that's the same people that's not watching these games. You could tell when you hear people starting to hit you with, 67% completion rate or 69, whatever the case may be. Those guys are not watching any tape. They're not watching these games. Not all of them. They're not watching all of these games, and they damn sure ain't watching no tape. Because if you was, you would not be saying that dumbness. You wouldn't be saying that non-intelligent crap. He got 67% completion rate or whatever it is because he checks the ball down 6 to 7, 8 times a game. My completion rate will be high if I did that. All the facts are in the film, but these people lazy. They don't watch no film. They just get up there and they stat prattle. Stats are only a half or a percentage of the whole picture, the totality of the picture. If you're watching the games and you watch what happens in some of these games, the stats don't even matter. In losses that the Saints had, the stats, some of these games when the Saints lost, the stats actually favored the Saints. So how did they lose the game? It's other things going on, man. So it's not even, that's never totally stat driven, but it's easy for somebody to read a stat line to sound deep. Stephen A does it all the time, and he don't know what the hell he talking about most of the time either. He'll get up here and memorize or read off a teleprompter a few stats to mesmerize people for a second to make him think like he know what he do. And then when he gets caught out there stupidly, he raises his voice and starts talking loudly to distract you from his commentary. He starts speaking loudly. He used that barbershop voice, as I call it, to start speaking loudly, because when he starts doing that, he's off base with his stats. That's a common technique that most of them use. Hell, ESPN ain't doing nothing but yelling at each other nowadays. You got Mad Dog up there, and all Mad Dog do is yell. But anyway, the bottom line is, man, yeah, don't be fooled by the stats, man. Don't be fooled by the stats and the 67%. Now, we do like Derek Carr down here. We like Derek Carr, the person. We don't too much prefer Derek Carr, the quarterback, and I'll tell you why. Because $150 million in these what, just a couple of games better than 500%. I mean, 50%, $150 million, and you know he was gone the moment that old possum got fired and canned. That quarterback was going to go with him. He was going with him. You know, so in the end, you know, it is what it is. You got the few bucks that you got, and now it might time to kind of push them on. Take that old car and drive it back out west. You know, you got a bag or two with you, though. All right, but anyway, one of the biggest challenges ahead for the Saints is what they do at the quarterback position. What do they do? And this is not an easy decision. We have to wonder how much input will Kellen Moore have here. I think a significant amount of it. How much influence will Mickey Loomis have? What's the direction they should go? Let's dive in and see what happens. And this is Hendrick's article. He says, arguably, the biggest decision New Orleans will have to make in all seasons is what to do with Derek Carr, and it's complicated. The Saints have until the third day of the new league year to figure out whether or not to absorb Carr's $40 million, which is guaranteed. He has $30 million base salary and $10 million roster bonus that will become fully guaranteed. Here's what hurts. These are just the facts behind the figure. New Orleans already has $48 million in dead cap. They're dealing with you're dealing with from Lattimore, Michael Thomas, Jameis Winston, and they add Carr's salary onto that as a post June 1st designation. Then that tacks on an additional $21 million. If he cut before that, then that's a $50 million hit. The post June 1st move would save the Saints $30 million, but they're going to have to carry that until it comes off the books. So do that. The Saints cut ties, move to something else, or does Carr want to leave New Orleans? There are both valid reasons. Or does Carr want to stay another season? If Moore wants to go with a younger prospect like Spencer Rattler or Jake Haener and have Doug Nussmeier develop them, then that could be interesting. However, Nick Sirianni has made it pretty clear that there won't be lateral moves from the Eagles staff. So there you go. Moore has already worked with an independent free agents, Cooper Rush, Easton Stick. Oh, Lord. For what it's worth, he also worked with Ben DiNucci, who was here on a reserve future deal. If we were to roll with Spencer and Haener, Moore could bring in an inexpensive veteran of his offense like Jimmy Garoppolo or Joshua Dobbs. There's plenty of other options on the market, but it's going to have to be inexpensive ones with upside. I don't buy into Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers speculation, even if the betting odds do. Justin Fields is also a hot name, but that would be more of an expensive option. Now, there are people like Aaron Rodgers. What are you talking about? Well, there's this. There is an article or some stuff out here that Aaron Rodgers shockingly linked to struggling NFC team to replace veteran QB. Could New Orleans Saints sign Aaron Rodgers? I'm like, what? I hit that Russell on him. I'm like,
what? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not for that. I like Aaron Rodgers, but it's over. Stick a fork in that guy. He's done. It's over with, man. It's over. But this is the thing, though. Inexpensive options. A lot of people say, man, Spencer Rattler showed a lot of praise last year. I mean, some promise there, some upside, and he did. I know he didn't get any wins, but at the end of the day, man, he did show some moxie. He showed some intelligence, and he outplayed the heck out of Jake Haener. Jake, a weird pitcher taking Haener. He outplayed that man. Then there's the draft. On day 2, could New Orleans look at Jalen Milroe, the former Alabama quarterback, or Jackson Dart from Ole Miss? You can read more about them. Kyle McCord, which is a guy that I preference. Quinn Ewers from Texas is also an interesting day 3 option. This isn't a strong class, so drafting here may not be the play. I do like Kyle McCord from Syracuse, though. It's going to be fascinating to see what the Saints eventually do at the quarterback position. Expectation for 2025 is certainly low for New Orleans. So if they're truly building for the future, then they might have that answer if they see themselves in this compete and, see this compete in a division mode with the veterans that might still be here, then suggest another answer. We'll find out soon enough, right? So this is a part of shout out to John. Appreciate that article, man. So he just kind of laid some of the facts down about Derek Carr's contract, because this is one of the major focal points going into the season, because a lot of people believe that Derek Carr is not the guy. Under Dennis Sally, yes. Under Kellen Moore, absolutely not. Even though he gave him a lot of accolades and respect, which is cool. But at the end of the day, I think you should just go with a different option. Keep it moving and push forward, right? Find you somebody else and keep it moving, right? That's how I view it. Anyway, let's do a little exercise here. Why don't we? All right, I got this on screen right here, fam. This is from Over the Cap. This is a little calculator that they have set up where you can kind of break down. It gives you an idea in terms of what the Saints could do from a contract standpoint. And some of this information is kind of, connected to John Hendrick's article, where you can see the top figure there, the red, the cap space for 2025 is at 54.112 plus 5.5, blah, blah, blah. A lot of money for the Saints right there, 54 million in the hole, according to them. And how do we get not just down back into the black, accounting term, but also have a surplus where we can be able to function in free agency, right? Well, let's take a look at it. Well, John mentioned that a post June 1st cut will look like this. Now, if you do it any other way, like a pre-cut is 1.3, that's not the move. Obviously, there's a trade situation that can unfold. But if you post June 1st post cut them, that's 30 million back to you. So let's hit that, right? So it's June, as you can see, it dropped from 50 plus to 24.1 mil, right? That's $30 million worth of servants. That's just for this year, right? Just for this year. And like I said, a lot of the dead money flows. Now, that's just for this year. A lot of the dead money then bounces to next year, and that'll eventually drive next year's number down too. I'm not aware if this calculator actually will do that, does the map on the dead money. But that's just the things, like people say, well, Q, let's just drop that. The way the contracts are set up, like with Derek Carr's contract was set up, he had almost all of the leverage against the Saints. I mean, this was a dumb contract, a stupid contract. It was stupid. We could not afford this man. There was a better, more intelligent move we should have made outside of this, and it just was a failure. So anyway, with him on the cut, you designate him a post June 1st cut. That saves $30 million for this year, dead money for next year. But what's interesting is now you need a QB. Like I said, you'll have cheaper options. The Saints can't go into free agency and say, well, let's go spend some money. If you post June 1st cut Derek Carr, you're going to either draft the quarterback, or you're going to work with who you have, or you're going to go get a cheap veteran backup. It won't be no Justin Fields. It won't be nothing like that. You're going to go and see if you can find a cheap veteran to back up your young guys and go for it like that. Because, I mean, that's the move. All right, so you got $24.1 million there. What else do you do? Well, let's look at the next contract here. This was some information came out by way of some of the insiders saying that Taysom Hill could be on the chopping block at 35 years of age. Taysom base salary $10 million. His prorated signing bonus is 7.9, and his cap number is at 17.9, almost $18 million for him. So if you trade him or you designate him, let's say you just do the same thing you did with Carr, that gives you 10 million back right there, right, for Taysom. So Taysom's gone now. But look at your cap money, dropped 14.1. Not saying that they will do this, but this is just some of the options the Saints have to erase this year's deficit. And like I said, it kicks it into next year. What about Cam Jordan? He's the next dude up there. Remember, these guys, the Carrs, Jordan, the Cam, and Taysom Hill are the top guys annually from an annual money perspective. Carr was $30 million. Cam was 12.5, and Taysom was 10 mil. What do you do with Cam? Do you say hasta la vista, Cam? Do you ask for a pay cut from Cam? But see, it doesn't give us this option here. It doesn't give us an option. I would kind of ask for them guys to take a pay cut. And like I said before, I don't think the Saints ask just Derek Carr to take a pay cut. I'm pretty sure they're not going to just ask Carr, say, hey, Derek Carr, would you take a pay cut? He said, no, I'm not taking a pay cut. And I'm not mad at him for not taking a pay cut. I'm not at all. Because you gave him the money. He like, no, I'm good. I want all my money. So you know what you got to do. That's why I just post June 1st cut his ass. $30 million this year, dead money into the following year is just part of the game. Taysom Hill, his $10 million. And of course, if you do the same with Cam, you get $12.5 million back, according to Sport Track, as a post June 1st cut. That means you basically, if Cam does, I would ask for Cam to take a pay cut at first before, and if he says no, then I would do the same maneuver as I would do to Derek Carr. We got to get the money back at some point. We have to be able to get the money back that dumb Loomis gave these players, tied them up to the future. So at some point we got to get the money back. So let's say we post June 1st cut Cam because he didn't want to take a restructure, right? Then look what happens. You get 12.5 back from Cam. That brings you down to 1.6 million. That's 3 players. These are actual and accurate numbers according to over the cap. So as you can see, you save $30 million on Carr. You save $12.5 million on Cam. You save $10 million on Taysom. So with that money, it drove it all the way down to $1.6 million off of those 3 players. Of course, Carr's your starting quarterback. Taysom Hill's a utility player, probably arguably your most productive player that you have. But we simply cannot afford these guys unless they decide to take pay cuts. All of this is relative based on pay cuts, right? Let's say, if Carr already told you, we don't know nothing about Cam or Taysom. But I'm pretty sure the Saints just didn't ask Carr. They asked all them other guys too. Hey, man, Cam, could you take a pay cut? Hey, Taysom, can you take a pay cut? And if they say no, do post June 1st cut them. We got to get the money back some kind of way. We have to get better. So with just saying all this works out that kind of way, this is just the narrative. You can see right there with 3 players, we've already chopped down a significant great deal of the money to $1.6 million off of 3 players. Who's left? Well, you have Demario Davis, right? Who's making 6.5. His cap number is 12.4 plus bill. He's at 6.5 this year and such and such. But, Demario Davis is one of them dudes, man. You like him a lot, but at the end of the day, if you do a post June 1st cut on him, let me see how I look on the pre. A pre is 4.7. A post is 4 million. So it don't make no sense to do that. You actually giving up money if you do the pre. The pre-cut gives you at least 700,000 more than the post, which is 4.7. So if you did that, because you're not going to you're not going to restructure any of these guys. They're up in age. A Taysom Hill is 35 years of age. It's no restructuring. A Cam Jordan, no restructuring. 36-year-old Cam Jordan, and all these other guys. When Demario's 36 at this point, it doesn't make any sense for you to have an old team, which is the Saints are the oldest team in the NFL right now, and the youngest quarterback in the NFL. That's not a recipe to win. So we're going to have the team has to get young, and it starts with a lot of the older players have a lot of the money. The money is tied to these older players. So it makes sense that if you're going to have a rebuild, Mickey Loomis has been lying about the last couple of years, then we would need to take money away from from these veterans. It's got to come from somewhere. It's got to come from somebody. So if you did that to Demario, that's 4.7 million. That puts you in the black. But then again, you lose your starting linebacker. You see what I'm getting at? So for every move that you do, it looks good monetarily speaking, but you lose that player, which means you'll have to have a replacement for that player to bring on. So, once you do finally chop down a lot of these players, and of course you got Ryan Ramczyk right there, and they don't have a medical exemption for Ryan Ramczyk. I don't even think they put that on here. But the Saints will use some type of medical exemption on Ramczyk on this. I don't know why they got it factored in like that. But his base salary cut to 1.2 here. But let me see what it says when they do a post. 1.2 for him. It don't make no sense to do that. Pre will get you 10 million. So according to their numbers over the cap, is saying that you hit Ramczyk with a pre June 1st move, you save 10.7 mil. I don't know how accurate that is. But I know there's a way where the Saints could use some type of medical exemption and get money back from Ryan Ramczyk. That's not factored in here. But let's just say for the sake of this situation dealing with this particular software, that we do designate Ramczyk a pre-June 1st cut, which will then save you $10.7 million. But then again, that puts you, hold on here, let me undo that. Yeah, because that didn't look right. No, that's going to cost you money. All right, so yeah, that ain't going to be, we ain't going to do nothing with that. But there's an exemption there that they're supposed to use on him. But anyway, like I said, man, there are other players involved where you would have to look at and decide on whether or not you want to put cuts on these guys. If you decide to get rid of Demario Davis, and decide to get him up out of here, look what that does. It saves you 8.2 mil and puts you in the black by over $6.6 million. But then again, you don't have Taysom, you don't have Demario, you'll have Pete Werner, you'll have I guess you can go back and get a cheaper Willie Gay Jr. You can bring Willie Gay back. I don't think Willie will be extremely expensive to bring him back. If you do pull that maneuver and you ultimately decide to do that, see, there's an extension right here for Willie Gay. I don't think these numbers are accurate, but we won't do that right now. It's just a cut measurement, just for the fact. But if you did those players, just showing you guys based on our over the cap software right here, if you do that and you cut just those 4 players, or you get rid of those guys, the Derek Carr, Cam Jordan, Taysom Hill, and Demario Davis, just 4 guys, you are $6.6 million in the black again, my friends, just with that. And then there are other things that you can look at doing too. There's other things you have to do too that can be cut too. There are other players you can get rid of. Case in point, how about Nate Shepard? How about getting rid of Nate Shepard? Wouldn't it be feasible for you to kind of get rid of Nate Shepard, to kind of clean and get him on up out of here? What if we did that post June 1st to Nate Shepard and save $4.6 million on Nate Shepard? Me personally, I don't think Bink Saunders or Nate Shepard, when they signed those guys, I don't think they had the same impact as David Onyemata and Shai Tuttle. I've said that before and I say it again. The interior Saints defensive line has been up and down during the tenure of these guys. These guys have been hurt. They've been good when they were good, but their play has suffered. We've gotten ran on consistently, a little bit too much what I would have liked to have seen happen. And besides, if you have new coordinators coming in and a possible 34 system could be the thing, then this could make some of these guys, this could change a lot of stuff there. If that is indeed something they're looking at doing, or if this is a base look, who knows? But at the end of the day, me saying, let's say, I'm like, you know what, Nate Shepard, let's kind of get you on up out of here. We save $5.3 million by getting him on up out of here. We're not gonna miss him. We still got Bink, and Brian Bresee is ready to roll. We need Brian Bresee to work on his his run stuffing ability, but that's small potatoes compared to an interior defensive lineman that can get 7.5 sacks. How many sacks that Brian Bresee had this year? How many interior defensive linemen getting sacks like that, competing with the defensive ends on the team? You just need a good defensive. You just need a good defensive coordinator to come in, or a defensive line coach rather, to work with Brian Bresee to get his run stuff in. He had 7.5 sacks this year. He had 7.5 sacks for the Saints. As a matter of fact, wasn't he the leader in sacks on the team? If I'm not, he had more sacks than I want to say he had more sacks than anybody else. If I'm not mistaken, hold on, let me look up that right quick, fam. Yes, he did. He had 2 sacks more than Chase Young and Carl Granderson, who both had 5.5. He had 2 full sacks more. So yes, I get a defensive line coach to help him work on his defense, working on stopping the run. But I got a menacing interior defensive tackle that got 7.5 sacks. She they talk about Chase Young being healthy. Remember, there was a thought process about Brian Bresee coming into out of college that he had out of Clemson. He had a reputation for being hurt. Brian Bresee showed something this year. He showed something, so, we'll see how it all looks going forward. But like I said, I feel good about putting Nate Shepard in the street. I really do. And look what it does. It changed everything. We're almost $12 million in the black by shifting that around. But like I said, Derek Carr is gone, Cam Jordan's gone, Taysom Hill's gone, Demario Davis is gone, and Nate Shepard is done. So with just that, I'm at almost 12 million in the black. And like, well, how much farther can we go? I mean, we can go a few more people if you like. It's no real need to talk about getting rid of Tyrann Mathieu. You don't really need to worry about getting here, but the Saints will get more money back based on what goes on with Ryan Ramczyk. We'll see what happens with that, because I know they were talking about that exemption, that some type of medical exemption where the Saints will be able to get some money back for him, and that'll go in terms of that'll hit the cap to help them get there. So in the end, with just those players, look where we are. And also, let me put some players in the street. Hold on, let me see if I can find a couple of guys to put in the street here. Hold on here, Cedric Wilson Jr. Where you at, brother? I gotta go ahead and free you. I gotta free your mind, brother. I gotta get you on the party. Hold on. Yeah, Cedric Wilson Jr., brother, I got to put you in the street, brother. Let's go ahead on, bro. I'm going to free your mind, brother. I'm going to go ahead out there and free you on up out of here, bro. So I put him in the street. All right, where that other dude at? Let me see where he is. Y'all know who I'm looking for. He might be a free agent. Where's Ali Udo at? Where you at, Ali Udo? I don't see him on here. Somebody must already put him on. I think he had a 1-year deal. I want to say he had a 2-year deal. Yeah, now they're saying that he a free agent. Okay, there you go. Hold on. Yeah, they saying he was a 1-year deal. I thought he was 2, but I guess it's 1. All right, so he already in the street. So with that being said, just with those players, we're almost 15 million in the black with 5 players. It's just a bit of an exercise. And these are real numbers, man. Right over the cap, have the real contract numbers integrated into their software, where they could be able to show you what time it is with that. So just showing you guys a little bit of an exercise there, that if you put these guys in the street, that's what happened. But then, like I said, you would then have to be smart on the money that you have, because you still have free agents that you have to look at about signing, guys that's still available. You would have to really consider bringing back, if DeMario's gone, do you get Willie Gay? The defensive coordinator and Kellen Moore might want another linebacker. He might want somebody else to fill in on the defensive side. He might bring somebody from the team where he came from that's a free agent down here, a cheaper veteran like a Will Harris. Like we had an impact veteran like Will Harris. Will Harris came in here and was a solid signing for the Saints last year. Totally made us forget about Mayday, Marcus May. Totally made us forget about that guy. But Will Harris was very awesome for the Saints and very cheap signing. And you're going to need a handful of those to kind of keep this thing going, right? Like what he did a lot. Also, guys, and see this the free agent list right here to the right here. Lucas Patrick, I don't know about that. We can find somebody better. Marquez Valdez-Scantling could be somebody you can bring back on a cheaper deal, depending on what your draft look like. You might want to just go young there. We'll see what Kellen Moore wants to do there. But it's a lot of questions with his personnel. I think Peyton Turner's done. A lot of these guys probably not coming back to the team. Nephi Sewell could find his way back. Ugo Amadi could come back. We don't know, man. We'll see how it all goes, because it's a total different regime. A lot of these guys have their own guys in mind. They bring in their own coaches. They're going to want to bring in their own style of guys to help them kind of build up that team per se. So like I said, the Saints have a lot of good pieces there. But just with Derek Carr, Cam Jordan, Taysom Hill, Demario Davis, Nate Shepard, and Cedric Wilson Jr., the Saints have almost $15 million in money coming back to them. And then that's not including whatever they do with Ryan Ramchek's contract, right? All right, shout out to the fan. Appreciate you. KT, shout out for you, bro. He says, can you look at Derek Harmon and Deion Walker? Okay, thank you. Appreciate you, man.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
Yeah, KT, shout out to you, man. Appreciate you with the super chat, my brother. Yeah, KT dropping some game with those players, man, as well, man. I'm going to have to look some of these guys up. KT always drops some game on them and let me know which ones I got to keep an eye out on. Hold on, fam. All right. Harmon, I heard of him. Let's see. Walker. All right. Yeah. KT said to go look at him. I'm going to go take a look. All right. Shout out to my dog, KT. All right. So anyway, fam, this is a few of the things here just to look at, man, as I say, just to kind of get people involved saying, well, the Saints have to do this, that, the third. We got 4 or 5 guys we have to put in the street. But like I said, man, these are some of our veterans that's been with us for a while, but this is showing you it's a new age here and that it's time to move into the next age of Saints football. We got to move into it because our adversaries have already went through their tough rebuilds and already are getting out of that difficult tunnel, and now we're seeing light. We see what Atlanta doing. We see what Carolina doing. Tampa Bay has been doing a good job of signing guys like they had signed Baker Mayfield, kind of extended things. A lot of people did not see that Baker was going to be that guy. A lot of people thought Baker Mayfield was going to flop there, but Baker Mayfield showed people that, hey, man, y'all forgot I could play football. I was at some bad teams, but when you give me some talent, I could play some football. And he showed over the last couple of years by winning the NFC South and gaining a decent contract. His contract was their signing of him was better than our signing whatever we did here. We didn't do anything here of any successful note, as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have won the division 4 years in a row. So they are kind of moving right along, and the Saints fell down, way down, and we got to get back up. But the problem is, as a team, we still, despite these cuts, we still have a lot of good talent on this team. And if you're going with a young quarterback or an inexperienced backup, or you more than likely it's going to be a young quarterback, if it's Spencer or whoever, you're going to need a strong running attack. So if you're coming here, you're going to have to build up this Saints offensive line. You're going to need a real left guard, not one that's a backup. You're going to need a real starter there. So if you look at the starting positions on the Saints offense and the defense, all this kind of stuff, you can look at, in particular, the Saints could use along that offensive line. The Saints could use a starting left guard. They can't afford them in free agency, right? If you're looking at $15 to $20 million, a lot of people say that'll probably be the area between where the Saints rest between 15 to 20 million, somewhere along that after the restructures. That's being conservative. But at the end of the day, I think that's a real estimation. Like, you could be anywhere between $15 to $20 million. And then you will have to be crafty with that, because you would then have to consider what guys you're going to bring back. You still have Chase Young. Yeah, your contract to be done with Chase Young. And if Mickey Loomis is making these contracts, Mickey Loomis is going to do what Mickey Loomis does. He's gonna sign Chase Young to a contract. It's going to be a cheap year, and it's going to have an escalating agreement on Chase Young. It's just what he does. He's not going to not to do that, because he don't know nothing else but to do that. He's gonna start it all over again. So in the end, he'll get Chase Young on a deal, because that's what they really want to do. They want to see about getting Chase Young back. They're interested in that, and the rest of these changes, we'll have to see where it goes from there, right? All right. So anyway, that's a bit of the exercise right there, man. If y'all got any questions, man, feel free to throw them in the chat. We got almost 200 people in the building. Y'all do me a service, man. Hit the like button, hit the sub button and sub up, and hit the share button. That helps out the stream. Shout out to Giovanni with the super chat. Says, Q, I would like to see us draft Jackson Dart and have him learn behind Carr for just 1 year and cut Carr in 2026. Well, I mean, if you keep Carr here, I think he falls off the books in 2026. I want to say his contract is up then, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, let me take a look right quick. Give me just a second. Let me take a look at Carr's contract because I think he falls off the books next year. 2026 is his, he got 30 million this year. And oh no, he got to go. He got like $50 million next year. No, we probably ain't gonna do that, Giovanni. We're not gonna do that, brother. We ain't gonna do that. I'm like, oh no, Lord no, we can't keep him. Look at his money here. It's now or never on this Derek Carr situation. I'm telling you, man. Look at this. But see, that's not Derek Carr's fault. That's dumb Loomis did this. Look at this stupid contract he did. This guy's going to be 35 in 2026, and he's going to be making $50 million for the Saints. Look at this. His base salary this year is 30. It balloons to $50 million next year. He got to go. Oh, that guy, no. Oh, absolutely not. He got to go. Let's look how dumb this contract is, man. Look how stupid this contract is. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm saying this is a dumb contract. This man gave him an escalating agreement. He got 30 million this year and 50 million in 35. What? At 35 years of age in 2026? We got to get him in the street. Got to put you in the street, homeboy. You just ain't producing enough for us to keep you at no 30 or even $50 million. Are you kidding? Oh, who you think you is? Well, we got to get you up out of here, man. I'm sorry, dog. You got to go. You got to go, and I mean right now. But, man, anyway, man, listen. It's very interesting, to be honest with you, man, on some of the stuff that we see dealing with this guy. But, yeah, thank you, bro. Appreciate you for that super chat, Giovanni, man. Appreciate you. But, yeah, it's an interesting thought. But, man, the money is terrible. Y'all seen that? I showed y'all, like, man, let me show you. 50 million. That guy got $50 million. In 2026, he's going to be 35 years of age. And look at the rest of it. Then it's voided. Then he owes phantom year from 36, from 2027, 28, 29. So this dude going to be collecting money from the Saints all the way up until he's almost 39 years of age. This will make it Loomis type contracts here. Look at this stupidness. In 27, he'll have 11.4 million, 5.7 in 20. This guy ain't even be on the team no more. And he'll have money. The Saints will be paying him all the way up until 2028. They're gonna pay when they cut him anyway. They'll settle with him, but they still gonna owe him some. There'll still be dead money attached. Yeah, I told you, man. The big problem is that dumb Loomis, man. Boy, was this a stupid contract. This was a terrible contract. All right. Let me. Any questions for the fam? Brother Byron says, "Q Princely. How you pronounce Princely's name? Damn, man. Is that how you pronounce it? I think it's Yuma Minaline or something like that. I think it's Yuma Princely Yuma Minaline. Linamine. I'm gonna work on it as I can. He's got his name. But yeah, Princely from Ole Miss. He's a very athletic hellspawn of a defensive end. He's not totally refined, but he is just has so much potential. He's a freakish athlete. He has good size, good speed, but it's a lot of stuff that you can teach Princely to do. And he's a problem of what he does. No, it'll be interesting if you get a good defensive line coach to work with Princely and then be able to take him and help him refine his moves, and you could have something with that. So a lot of his stuff is he needs work, but you can see the talent there. You can see a lot of his stuff is not just it's not technique driven. You know what I'm saying? It's like athletic, just using his straight up athleticism to just dominate. So I mean, size, speed, power. Princely is interesting, man. They look at him as like I want to say like a second round guy. Some people see him I see him like a second rounder. You know, I don't know if I would see him as a first rounder, but I guess if you drafting Peyton Turner, I guess based on the Peyton Turner scale, I guess he is a first rounder, right? You know, all right. Yeah. So shout out to you, Byron. Thank you for that, man. He says, yeah. Hayden Higgins and Jordan Phillips, Maryland. Check these guys. Yeah, the big defensive tackle for Maryland. Yes, indeed. I'll check out Higgins. Matter of fact, I think I've seen film on Higgins, man. It's a lot of good ones out there, man. Saints for Life says Sawyer, Tyler Batty are high motor defensive ends. Yeah, Sawyer's the defensive end from Ohio State, and then there is the his buddy on the opposite side. What's his name? Oh man, I did breakdowns on all these guys, and the names escape me. But I'm gonna have to kind of bring out my book and all that so I can kind of write it down and come back to it. But yeah, and then of course Collins from Texas, is another dude that's also big. So yeah, they got a couple of guys, also like the defensive end from Tennessee. Y'all look him up. That guy from Tennessee is really good. I like him a lot. It's a few things that he got to work on, but that dude is something else. That defensive end from Tennessee. All right. LM says we need a new defensive line coach. Yes, we do. We don't have one currently. All right. Jack says the restructure Carr to kick the can. Yeah, I don't think we should restructure Derek Carr. We don't need to restructure Derek Carr. He said he's for that. I think we just really need to just go ahead on and cut it off right now and just go ahead on into the youth movement. It's already information out there that says that Kellen Moore does like Spencer Rattler. And of course, he can draft a guy like McCord out of Syracuse. I think he would be a good quarterback to bring in here based on what Kellen Moore likes. He's a quarterback. He knows what kind of quarterback he wants to run his system. We'll see. But in the end, yeah, I think Spencer Rattler would do good if you can put a strong offensive line around him and give him a running tack. And maybe if you draft a tight end that can help him, because I think we need to just go ahead on and let Juwan Johnson go and be like, hey, Q, he had 50, his best season, and I hear you on that. But man, let's just go ahead and move on. And this is a good draft to move on from Juwan Johnson with and find us a good young tight end. And this draft is whether you want Ty Warren or from Penn State or the tight end from what's the guy? Damn, I forgot the college that he played at, man. Hold on, let me look him up. Hold on, fam. Hold on. I got all this stuff written down, man. I'm drawing blanks like a dog out here. I don't know what's going on today. Hold on here. Give me just a second, fam. Let me pull up my list right here on some of these guys right here. Give me just a second here. Pull up my little draft list here. KT know all these people, man. My dog KT in there just firing them out one at a time. Let me see. Where he is. Where is he? Harold Fanning. That's right. Harold Fanning Jr. from Bowling Green. That's who y'all need to look at. Check a look at that. Of course, there's also a few other guys in this class, like a lot of people like Arroyo. I mean, he has some injury concerns, but he's definitely kind of raw, but you can see his potential there. Ty Warren is what they perceive the best of the class. Mason Taylor was big for LSU. He was another really good dude. A lot of people like Gunnar Helm from Texas, and he's not on the class of some of these guys. Gadsden the second from Syracuse. What's his other guy name? The big guy, Mitchell Evans from Notre Dame. It's a couple other guys that's out here that's throwing up some names. Luke Lachey from Iowa. That's another dude. So, I mean, it's quite a few tight ends. Like, if you really want to make the move and get you a tight end, there are a couple of them. Like I said, I'm not against the Saints. If a guy like Ty Warren fall to the Saints at 9 and they're like, hey, man, this, Spencer's the guy. You can go. I'm not mad. I think at that point, because the Saints do have a few needs that they can roll with, and you take the highest player on your board. If it's an offensive lineman that fall to you there, because they're going to be 3 or 4 guys that are need guys for the Saints, whether it's Kevin Banks Jr., the big offensive lineman from Texas. He could play. You can move him to guard if you can get him. KT know, who I like. Will Campbell. I don't think Campbell gonna be there though, but they got a bunch of good offensive linemen in this, and it's coming up in this draft. But the tight ends, if y'all want a good tight end to pair with Spencer Rattler going forward, or you want to build your offensive line, you want to get your starting level offensive guard there, you can find them in the first the 2 rounds. You can get you a tight end of the future. You can get your starting left guard of the future. You know the Saints ain't gonna be working with a lot of money. You might as well make all those draft picks work for you, you know. But yeah, they got quite a few guys, man, that are also up there. All right. Doc Savage, what's up? My brother says, now I gotta look up this man. All right. All right. Saints for Life says, Q, Saints are still on the hook for $48 million dead money this year for players not on. I know. I talked about that like 2 weeks ago. Remember, I put up I showed the family. I said, look at this. I showed that. I did that like 2-something weeks ago, maybe 2.5 weeks ago. I showed the Saints dead money situation, because people are looking at the cap, but they forget about the dead money, which is what carries on from once you get free of this. That's why I was saying this it's a shell game with the Saints. They got a lot of people that just like full of crap. They just want to throw some number and say, man, this year we're going to be this, but next year we're going to be such and such. I'm like, no, it don't work that way. The money just doesn't disappear. It has to go somewhere. It's not like the Federal Reserve System where they don't print money. They just put zeros in a computer. I'm like, what? How is that anything? I thought it's supposed to be backed by anything. But anyway, another story. In terms of NFL funding money, it's not supposed to work with that according to the rules. The money has to go somewhere, right? It has to go somewhere. And the money that the Saints work with this year is going to go into next year, which would eventually drive the money down from this year. And I say that, and I talk to the family members about that, because that's a stern reality. Like what you see that happens here happens next year. Whatever you do this year will attack the 2026 figure and drive it down. And that includes this and dead money. So that's why he's using the draft capital, and you have to, the Saints philosophy is to draft smart. It has to be over the next couple of years. You're going to have to draft smart and work the hell out of the undrafted people. That's how the team is built. If you look at the Saints team, a lot of they're getting value out of the undrafted players. Rashid Shaheed, Carl Granderson, JT Gray. Should I go on and on? Jawan Johnson, the tight end. These are undrafted guys that had cheap contracts until they worked their way up to get a decent one. This is what the Saints do. But where they was failing at is they're giving money to these busts. I ain't gonna call them in busts, but players that's not performing up to the par with the money you paying them. That's where they're failing, and they're not hitting on the draft. So you can't fail in free agency, not hit on the draft, and expect to have success. You got to at least do 2 of the 3. You can't be the opposite way. So the Saints not hitting it on the draft. I mean, on the free agency. They're not hitting it in the draft consistently, and they're hitting it undrafted. So if you hitting on all 3 of them, you come back to what the Saints was several years back when we was doing this, that, and the third. We was having success. If you get 2 of the 3, you still can be effective, but you can't be 1 of 3. You can't do that. You got to hit on at least 2 of the 3. So if they go back to drafting well and not, and picking players that fit their system and are familiar with the scheme, and I talked about this on the last stream, is the most difficult thing that Kellen Moore will have in his attempts to turn the Saints around will be that he has to make sure, and I said this and I'll say it again, shout out to T-Mama, much love, that you're going to have to lean heavily on whoever your defense, whoever your older assistants, these older experienced assistants are. You're going to have them. Like we hear that Staley's supposed to be a potential coordinator here. Well, he had head coaching experience before, but some of these guys, you're going to have to find you some guys like I talked about Coach Payton having extra pair of eyes, as he called them. You're going to have guys like that, because you're not going to get any help from the Saints. You're not going to get no help from Mickey Loomis, because he don't know anything about how to kick the can. That's why he's not a real general manager. He's not going to help you in that way. He doesn't know how to help you. because he's a VP masquerading as a general manager. He is not going to help you. So whatever help you have is going to have to come from you. You're going to have to surround yourself with knowledgeable, experienced, winning, accountable coaches. That's what you're going to have to do to win here, because you're not going to get any assistance from Loomis or Lauscher or Benson or none of these people. They don't know nothing. No disrespect, but it's just real, man. These people don't know anything. So when they give him the reins, it's all on you. It's all that. They'll lie and they'll say dumb stuff like what Loomis got up there and said about Dennis Allen. Which means that's why he lost all respectability in the Who Dat Nation. You know, you gotta make sense, man. You gotta, if you fail, come out and say you failed and own it. You can't sit up here and pretend like Dennis Allen was not a bad hire and say, I don't have any problems with that. I don't take anything back. You look like an idiot saying that. You look like a moron, a chump, a nincompoop by doing that. You have to take accountability for wrongful decision making. But then again, that's what these people are not accountable. So he has to be a bubble within a world of non-accountability. That's tough to do. And the fact that he's a young coach who never done it before, you better surround yourself with veteran coaches that been through the fire. You better find those guys. It's cool to have some of these young guys as coordinators, but these assistants, you better find you some real hardcore experienced defensive coaches or offensive coaches or analysts, whatever you want to call them, that's going to sit next to you and tell you this, that, and the third. You better find them. That's the problem. Because you're going to have to build a bubble of accountability in a world where accountability doesn't exist. That's why the Saints been failing all this time. So I know from a talent standpoint, the Saints have talent on the team. If you're a coach that knows how to get the most out of players, you have to be accountable. This is nothing new. The best teams in the league, whether it's football, basketball, whatever, the best organizations are accountable organizations. They got coaches and people on top of these organizations that believe in accountability. If you're not doing your job, you will be checked on it. You will not be made excuses for. There is no excuses for failure. And the Saints are stumbling, bumbling, all kind of stuff. I ain't gonna even get into my little spiel on it because I'm about to go somewhere else with it too, because I'm really not happy with any of that. All right, big ups to y'all. Cartel says Prince and Walter Nolan, both dogs. Q. All right, thank you for that, brother. Appreciate you. Doc Savage says, Q, what do you think of Nussmeier's next draft in 2026? Let's see what he looks like, bro. I seen what he did this year. I'm not impressed with him. He got a strong arm. He showed some flashes, but nah. Because, and no disrespect to the kid, but think about this. Look who he's following behind. I mean, he had Joe Burrow, who did what he did in the NFL. Joe Burrow, didn't he lead the NFL in passing yards this year? After being hurt, he had didn't he have almost what Joe had? I think, didn't he have more passing yards than anybody in the NFL this year? He did what he did in LSU was just stuff of legend. Jaden Daniels came there and did what he did. Look what Jaden Daniels did with Washington. And then you got Nussmeier following those dudes. Now listen, he'll have a top-notch talented team at LSU. Let's see what he do this year. I still need to see what he does in 2026. There is no excuses because Coach Kelly is coming out saying that they're going to play for an SEC championship. And if you do that, more than likely you're going to be taking steps to play for a national championship. So if he's putting all that out and he's already put that out there, Nussmeier is going to have to write that. He's going to have to cash that check for Coach Kelly. And they have an excellent recruiting class. They have these transfers that came in. LSU looking really good. Nussmeier sitting on top of the team. Let's see what he does in 2026. We'll see, bro. We'll see. But based on what I've seen this year, KT with the pronunciation. It's Uma me Eileen. I see. I still butchered it. KT, I'm not. I'm gonna just say Princely, you, bro. Okay, is that fine? Can I just say Princely, you? Princely, you. Yeah. See, I don't have no problem saying James Pierce. You see that's easy. That's easy work right there. That's easy work. James Prince. I mean, Pierce. I ain't gonna even waste my time, brother. I ain't gonna, because I was getting it at first because I was studying the film on him. I was like, yeah. But see, I stopped. When you get away, you start doing other stuff. You got to go back to doing it. I said, you know what, Princely, you okay? How about that? I ain't got time, brother. If he makes it to the Saints, then I got to make time. But I can't worry about it right now. Yeah. There you go. All right. Doc says, I gotta admit something. All the money that's disappearing is going into my okay. He's going into your pocket. All right, how the hell you did that? Saints for Life says Tyler Warren is a game-changing player. He's very athletic. He can do it all. Wouldn't be mad if the Saints grab him. And I am absolutely in agreement with you, Saints for Life. I agree with you wholeheartedly. If Ty Warren is there and the Saints draft him, man, I have no problem with that at all, because you're going to need a safety blanket to go along with Spencer and not just a tight end. You can play him in all kinds. I mean, he has a lot of duality to his game, man. The guy is good. He's good. Brother Wallace says, Q, you ought to be the new GM. You've done it real good, my brother. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. It's a tough game, man. Don't get it wrong, bro. But like, you don't have to hit all of them. Like I was saying, you don't have to hit. You got to hit 2 of the 3. You're going to have to hit in free agency, you hit in the draft, and the undrafted. That's the 3 ways we got to build the team. That's all we have. And I'm not even talking about trades. I'm not even talking about the extra one is trades. But if you're hitting if you're hitting in the draft, and you're hitting in free agency, and you're hitting in the undrafted market, man, you have a strong team. But you cannot fail in the draft and then fail in free agency and then just win all over the place with undrafted. It's not going to work, man. You can't. You're going to at least have to get 2 of the 3. At least 2 of the 3. All right, what's up, brother Marcus? How you doing, sir? Much love, fam. Brother Slim says, forgot we should sign Cleveland back. So we need a tight end at number 9. Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea. Byron says Tyler Booker, Emory Jones, yes, Miles Frazier. I don't know if LSU. That's the whole thing about Saints drafting LSU players. I just don't get it. No matter how good they are, the Saints are going to go somewhere else. It's crazy. Maybe that changed with Kellen Moore. I have absolutely no idea. Who that data says best way to do this, Q, is to restructure Carr's contract, which converts a lot of money into a signing bonus. Cut him after June 1st. That's the best way. All right. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate that sentiment. Appreciate you. All right. KT says his own site, Mickey. Online now. Don't you do that?
Say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
Hold on now. I keep it on me now. Hold on now. I ain't going to let you do that, KT. Hold on now. All right. Big ups to the rest of the fam, man. All right. Knoxville says, what's a nightmare pick for you at 9? Q, a nightmare pick for me at 9 for the Saints? Oh, man. if they a nightmare pick for me at 9, if the Saints reach at a quarterback. If they reach at a quarterback, I seen somebody, one of the reporters, the local guys, I think it was one of the Fletchers. One of the Mackles, Fletcher. I seen a tweet from him online. He says, I think he was in agreement for the Saints using the pick on Jackson Dart. I was like, no, that would be the nightmare pick for me. If the Saints took the 9th overall pick and put it on Ole Miss quarterback Jackson Dart. I like Jackson Dart, but Jackson Dart is not worth a 9th overall pick when Tyler Warren could be there. Perhaps Ted McMillan could be there. Will Campbell most certainly won't be there, but perhaps Banks Jr. will be there, who's considered the best tackle. He could play guard for you. He could start for you at that left guard position, matter of fact. And he's a nasty one from Texas. But it's other guys that you can Princely, if you want, Pierce would be there. They got a bunch of people that would be there with that pick. I do not want to use that pick on Jackson Dart. Jackson might be climbing up some of these boards, but he is not a 9th overall quarterback. That would be a bad pick. That would be a bad pick. That would be my nightmare pick. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. What's the dream pick? Byron says, any pick that dream pick for me for the Saints. That's a good one. I guess I would a dream pick for the Saints to get, because they're big. What's the Saints' biggest need right now? Could they need offensive. I gotta say they need line help. Some people say they might need defensive end help. I don't think defensive end will be the pick in the first round because I see them signing Chase Young back. That's why they didn't trade him when they could have traded him. They are going to attempt to sign Chase Young back and pair him with Carl Granderson. In that case, we don't need to burn that first round draft pick on a defensive end. I don't think it'll be a cornerback. I mean, at some point we're going to have to address the safety position because Tyrann Mathieu is getting old. I mean, maybe in the second round, because the Notre Dame safety, I don't know if he'll be off the board. Then I like him. He might be there in the second round. But there are a lot of players like that we're picking this year and to the future. But if you go in first round pick, I guess me personally, I'll be looking at the offensive line. I just think we need some more help there. If Will Campbell falls to me, I guess a dream pick for me would be if Will Campbell fell to the Saints at 9. That to me would be my dream pick, because that means that you will have Campbell and Tali Fuaga as tackles. That means Penning gets kicked to guard, which I wouldn't be mad at. But you would have 2 bookends that protect Spencer Rattler and for the next 10 years. That would be the dream pick for me, us building in the trenches. That would be the dream pick to me, to get Campbell and have him and Tali as bookends. That's the dream. We build those trenches, baby. Build those trenches. Build them up. All right, what's up, Mad Drummer? Shout out to you. KT says, bro, Q, I will go nuclear if we take Dart at bro, listen, don't even put Milroe in there, because they putting Dart over Milroe. This is with Travis Fletcher of Fletcher's. I'm sorry, the reporter. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He always confuses the man name. It's unintentional. Forgive me. But what I'm saying is the nightmare pick is if the Saints take Dart or Milroe or any one of these guys, to me, are not first round draft pick quarterbacks. I think they'll be there for you in the second round or maybe even the third round. I think there is other people there that can help you right away. They can help you right away. Spencer Rattler, if Carr is not the guy, Spencer can help you, but you're going to have to build the trenches for him. That's just my take. All right. Knox says, that's the last question. Do you have any 2 running backs on your radar, Q? 2 running backs on the radar. And KT made mention of a couple of running backs that we was talking about. And I think this is the last stream that we talked about. But Cam Scatterbo. I don't know if y'all know who that is. Scatterbo from Arizona State. Scatterbo, man, that guy, he's a bit undersized, but very productive. I like him. I like Damian Martinez from Miami. What's the kid? Everybody like Ashton Genty from Boise State. That's a foregone conclusion. What's the kid from Kansas State? The kid from Kansas State, I can't remember his last name. I think his first name's DJ. Shit. Help me out, KT. KT know I'm talking about. I think, let me look him up, man. Let me see if I can look him up. I think it's Pickens or Pickens, Gibbons. There you go. Gibbons, DJ Gibbons. I like him. There's a couple of guys, man, that I like, man, that I think are pretty good. But the first one you asked me about that was Scatterbo from Arizona State. I like his game. If you go watch his tape, I like what he does. Even your boy E10 from Georgia is not a bad little running back. You know, his brother's in the game, but it's a couple of them, man, that's actually pretty good. That some of them don't have the stats, you know, to kind of simplify. But if you watch the tape, some of these guys could really play. But yeah, they're good. They're good stuff. It's a good number of them. Yeah, Giddens. There you go, Giddens. Yeah. All right. KT says Campbell is guard Q. No, he ain't No, KT. No. Banks is a guard. Banks could play guard. No, bro. You're not gonna put Will Campbell at guard, bro. KT trying to move the man to guard, man. What you talking about? A 6'7" guard? Oh no, KT. KT always trying to move him to guard. No, he ain't no guard, brother. No. Will Campbell, bro, is every bit of a tackle, man. He'd probably be the first tackle taken off the board, matter of fact. But 6'6" guard? No, brother. No, man. Will Campbell he's created to play the tackle position, the blind side tackle, the big money position. I won't go as far as to call him any of these prestigious offensive linemen coming out. He's his own guy. But Campbell, man, I think Campbell could really help you, man. All right. Yeah. KT trying to make the man a guard. All right. Yeah. Tackle. English says, much love, Q. Enough of all this damn cross-training, draft, and develop these kids for what they should. Exactly, man. That was a thing that Sean Payton. Yeah, Caleb Jackson's another good one, too. From Iowa. Yeah, he's a good one, yeah. Yeah, Ollie Gordon, yeah, and Giddens. Yeah, that's the ones, KT. I just talked about Ollie. And DJ Giddens is a good one, too. Yeah, we just talked about him. But, yeah, English, you're absolutely right, sir. You got to, like I said, man, the philosophy in the draft is to find a guy that works with your system and, that has, like, perhaps the colleges, he has some kind of system where he's familiar with, he came from, or whatever the case may have been. And the guy, it's a shorter learning curve because once you draft these guys, you're on a timeline. You have 3 to 4 years to get value out of these guys before the contract breakup. Before you have to face them with the contract. So you have a somewhat of a compressed timeline or to be able to get the most out of these players. And for whatever reason, the Saints, they don't move with that same ferocity. Like, for instance, the Trevor Penning thing. Trevor Penning, I said this before, Penning's going into his 4th year. Do we realize that? Penning's going into his 4th year. His 4th year. He's going in 4th year. Isaiah Foskey, the snowman, he going into what? What is Isaiah's going into his 3rd year? Is this Isaiah Foskey's 3rd year? Look how fast. I want to say it's in his 3rd. This stuff moves so fast, man. Hold on, let me make sure here. I want to say Foskey, and this is going up. His 3rd year is coming up here, isn't it? Yeah, it's coming up on his 3rd year. He was drafted in 23, in the 2nd round, back in 23, 24, 25. And he ain't do a damn thing. He don't even have he got a half a sack on his career. He going in year number 3. You see what I'm saying? The guy was a 2nd round draft pick. He led Notre Dame, and he broke the sack record at Notre Dame. And he's going into 3 years of his career, he got a half a sack in 2 years for the Saints. Do you see what I'm saying? These people don't move right. They don't move right. You can't draft a 1st or a 2nd round guy or even a 3rd round guy and not make it an emphasis to get them in the game to play. They're not going to develop on the sideline or just strictly in practice. A lot of times you got to be able to get these guys in game. You got to have a plan for them. And they don't have that. And that's the problem with the Saints. They drafting all these guys and trying to make them cross-train and all this nonsense. Stop all of that. Because you cannot cross-train everybody. You can't do it. It takes a special type of player that can do that. You can't cross-train everybody because you're trying to save some money in a position. If you build your team right, you won't have to worry about that. I get it to a degree with your offense, your backup offensive lineman, that a guard got to play both sides of the line, whether it's a left guard, right guard. I get that part. Or a center has to be able to play the backup center if, whatever, he might have to play a guard or whatever the case is, or a tackle has to play both sides tackle if he's a backup. I get that part of the game. But some of this other stuff they be trying to do, they just be wasting time. Just pick the right player, do your research, pick the player that fits your scheme, and keep it moving, man. Keep it moving. You got to have a clear plan for these players. And Zach Bowen was an exact perfect example of the Saints screwing around and making these bad decisions. They knew Zach Bowen had potential, but they could not utilize him in a way where he can have that type of success. They waited all the way into his last year before they really started to do what they said they wanted to do with Zach Bowen. And then he wanted to stay with the Saints and say, listen, I'll sign a contract to come back to you, but I want to start. And they told him, no, we got a backup job for you. That's what Dennis Allen said. Man helped Philly win a championship. Out there playing, moving around. Y'all be like, who is this? That's the same damn guy. Well, how did he get that good? Because a lot of what he learned here, the right people got a hold to him there, and they knew how to put him in a system to be able to get the value out of him. That's why he looks different. Everybody's not the same, fam. These teams are different. Like you seen what Trey did with Cincinnati. When Trey left out of here and went to Cincinnati, he went up there and he's been a hell spawn ever since. He could not stay healthy down here. He couldn't even stay healthy. The last year he put up double-digit sacks, but people didn't believe what he was because he did it in the last year of his contract. And by that time, the Saints already replaced him with a first-round draft pick named Marcus Davenport. So, I mean, in the end, you got to have a game plan. The same thing with Peyton Turner. They wasted a pick on Peyton Turner. What is Peyton Turner doing? Peyton Turner was a backup. He was a first-round draft pick backup. They're doing the same thing with Isaiah Foskey. They don't have a plan. And that's why they're failing. This stuff is not hard because you can cross-reference other teams that's doing the same way and see they're having success, and you can see exactly where the Saints are failing at. They try to pretend like, oh, it's so hard. It's not hard. You can see all of these other teams are doing it. They are doing what you're supposed to be doing. They're having success where we're supposed to be having success. A lot of the teams are doing it. So it's not like it's just unbelievably difficult. No. The Saints just don't want nobody to push on them because they're comfortable with charging you more money for inferior, lesser product, and you'll have people that'll just go and do it. They like to be abused. So that's what they do. Like what John Sigler says. Family member tickets went up 15% after the worst record in almost 20 years. Tough to square that. It ain't tough to square. The Saints don't think very much of you. They really don't. But it's all good. You're supposed to teach them, right? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? This shit's not hard. They just don't want you to push on them to change and win. It's what lazy people do. They just want to sit on their ass and make money all day. That's what it is. They do not want you to push on them at all. They don't want you to challenge them. They don't want none of that. They just want to sit on their ass and collect money and charge you. And they got people stupid enough to give them their money. Despite they can do any and everything. And people still give them their money. Ain't nothing the Saints can do wrong. And people will continue to still go up there and give them their money. It's hey man, that's on them and God at the end of the day. It's just unfathomable, man. But anyway, listen, man, shout out to Pammy, man. Appreciate you, Pammy, for
I want to say
membership.
thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
Pammy Whammy, shout out to you, Queen. Appreciate you. Good seeing you in the chat as well. All right. So anyway, I'm gonna get ready to get. What's up, OG Jerry? Shout out to my brother, OG Jerry, 504 code. L Dub is in the building as well. Big ups to you, fam. I see you. Yes, Jax Savion Williams. Yes, that's a favorite there, bro. Savion Williams is a lot of people's favorite, bro. He is he gonna tear that combine up, man. All right, Drummer says Q. He says you think we might get Mackay to come in this year. I mean, there's Kellen Moore. That's Kellen Moore could probably make that happen. We could probably gonna get a couple of them Philly guys here, man. I could see us getting a couple of. It's just a standard thing that you do when the coach comes from there. He's going to take players and coaches from that system and bring them here. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some Philly guys make the transition from there to here. I'm anticipating that. All right. Yes, indeed. All right. Jerry says thoughts on Skeleton Bayless. What did he say, OG? What did he say? Thoughts on Skeleton Bayless Q? Tell me what he said, OG? All right. KT says, I was saying that Foskey thrives as a stand-up 3-4 edge rusher. You got a point on that. A lot of the tape is showing that, KT, but the Saints, like I said, but you have to, as a coach, find out what your players do best and then add that to the system, right? That's how you help them kind of gain the confidence that they need and then kind of have them have an impact right away into your system. You can't be flipping these guys and making them do stuff that they're not comfortable with. If you're going to get a player here, find out what he's good at and see if you can take that and add it into your game plan to make, that's what you're supposed to do. And then and once he gets an attachment there, you can be able to build around that to improve it. It's alive. Like you have a defense, offense. It's not just moving pieces here or there and all this kind of lame, dry stuff. It's people. It's a system. If it's a system full of people, it's supposed to be alive, and which means that people have to be moving around. There's input from players of what they need to do. It's a living, breathing entity with different people there. And as long as it's like that and not some crap where you do this, you run over here, you turn around, all this kind of, no, man. We got to take advantage of the talent of our players. OG says Skip didn't like the Kellen Moore hire last week, and I did a short video on that on my channel. Okay, shout out to OG. Check OG out. All right, he said he didn't like it, not liking the Kellen Moore. Well, he's a Dallas guy, so I'm pretty sure he probably is viewing Kellen Moore from a Dallas lens. A lot of Dallas people did not want Kellen Moore to be the head coach of their team because they've been experienced or exposed to Kellen Moore more than anybody else, right? He was at the Chargers for a year, with the Eagles for a year. So, but he's been exposed to Dallas more than anybody. So when a Dallas person say that they don't like Kellen Moore, I can't say nothing about that, brother. I really can't. And if it's somebody else, that's something because you had him for a year. Chargers had him for a year. Philly had him for, what was it, a year? He was with Philly for a year, But if Dallas says that and they had him there for how long? And they say, man, such and such, they know shit about Kellen Moore that we don't know, that they can come over here and educate us on, brother. Trust and believe. Just like I can educate them Seattle people on about who they got up there. Because it's almost like a traveling plague or something. Seattle, y'all seen that? Seattle got the same people we had. I mean, that guy went and got all his buddies and brought them up there. He got everybody up there. And now Dennison's supposed to be going up there. Like, man, what kind of crap is this? You get fired here. Well, we're just going form Voltron in Seattle. Oh, I hear you, brother. Good luck with that. Just like Dallas people could tell us a lot of stuff about Kellen Moore. They can educate us a great deal. So if you hear Dallas people breaking down some stuff about him, just lend an ear to it. They know a lot more about Kellen Moore than we could possibly know, man. They'll give us some game. Just like I can give people game on Dennis Allen, on Clint Kubiak, Andrew Janoku. I can drop game on these guys. I sit there and study their stuff, all that. But yeah, like I said, I can't be mad at no Dallas people for, saying that about Kellen Moore. They got some game. They got inside baseball on the man. All right. Okay, who that daddy says, I live in Dallas, Q, Cowboy. He said the fans are delusional. Yeah, they are delusional. I ain't gonna say that. I agree with you on that, brother. Ain't no doubt about that. Byron says Jack Sawyer Yeah, from the Buckeyes. Yeah, that dude there, he's not the most athletic guy in the building, but that guy is a football player. That's what I would call him, a football. KT said I have to say this countless times. Dennis Allen is on an overrated defensive mind. He had Khalil Mack and Von Miller, but couldn't properly use them. We'll see what Dennis Allen do in Chicago, because he came here. He had these people down here with New Orleans, with Sean Payton was there. He did it because that's how he built it. He built it. And this is another thing just to say about Coach Possum. Listen, fam, Dennis Allen did not, outside of it, now he had some stuff. I think he was with Denver before he went to the Raiders, and he was doing some stuff there. But a great deal of his success was in combination to Sean Payton. It was in combination to Sean Payton. So what kind of success he have in Chicago, we'll see. I'm not saying that the guy can't coach defense, because he can. But the problem is with a lot of stuff with Dennis Allen is you cannot trust him. And you're going to have a lot of players that are not going to totally buy into what he's saying because he's unbelievably untrustworthy. Stabbing people in their back, lying to people. He's just trash. And as long as you have somebody like that, I wouldn't even want to play for that guy, to be honest with you. So, I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, he's just a walking division. He's a walking separator. He don't even know no better. I don't look at it like that I failed. I look at it like they didn't want me anymore. That's what he said. That is a crazy person. You're hiring a crazy person and bringing them onto your team. I didn't fail. They just wanted somebody else. No, you failed, and they wanted somebody else because you're a loser, because you failed, because you're not accountable, because you're a backstabber, and you're a liar. You threw your team under the bus. You're unaccountable. You're stupid in many regards, and you don't have what it takes to be a head coach. And when people realize that, players got to trust you to have success. So that don't work with everybody. Like he had Sean Payton with him right there. He had that protection mechanism. That doesn't work with everybody. Remember, it's still a people business. Just because you put that guy over there don't mean he's going to have success. I'm not saying he ain't going to go up there and help him out, but I'm just saying it's a people-driven business. When you have somebody that foolish enough to say something as stupid as I didn't fail, I don't look at it as I failed. I look at it as they didn't want me anymore. No. You're a dummy. You're stupid. You're crazy. You failed. You failed miserably. What you going to do with somebody like that, man? The guy is insane, man. Who would say something that's stupid? Of course you failed. You failed horribly and miserably here. But has zero accountability at all. Do you see that? And Mickey Loomis sitting up there saying, hey, I didn't say Dennis Allen's a good coach. I still said Dennis Allen's a great coach. What you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that? Just let crazy fools be crazy fools. All right. But anyway, man, I'm going to get on up out of here, man. I appreciate you. He says, we're going to see what Possum Puss does up there. Or actually, I don't give a damn what Possum Puss to go up there. I really don't give a rat's ass. I'm just glad that he's out of here, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm glad he's gone. I really am. I'm so done with that guy. And I'm really done with Mickey Loomis too. I'm just fed up with these people. All right, is Josh Dobbs available? LM says try as a backup. That's supposed to be a rumored option. Josh Dobbs and a few other people that's out there. We'll see, bro. We'll see over the time. It's still very early on right now. But anyway, y'all do me a service. Hit the like button. Hit the sub button. Sub up, man. If you're not a member of the stream, please feel free to sub up. Hit the share button as well. That helps us out. And the notification bell for future content. We'll be back tomorrow on our Patreon special, man. On Tuesday, we'll be breaking down QBs. Be looking at the QBs, man. We're looking at the QBs. Sanders, Cam Ward, Milroe, Jackson Dart. We'll be looking at all the QBs tomorrow as well. We'll go over the latest news and all that kind of gravy stuff on our Patreon special. So if y'all want to join the Patreon, what's up, Colorado? Shout out to you, fam. Pelicans NOLA. Yeah, if you want to join that, please feel free to hit the membership button here on YouTube or simply go to Patreon. Patreon.com/the Pro Media Network. The link is in the chat for that content on that side, man. So, and we'll be keep it doing. But listen, fam, I'm gonna holler at y'all on the next one, man. I appreciate y'all for giving me y'all time. Once again, I'm Big Q, and I'm gonna holler at y'all on the flip side. Much love, peace. Who that take?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. Thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, the WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who That Too.